thought you were done with me. Okay, so show of hands. Who has ever felt like they didn't belong? In this room, I would be shocked to not see every single hand raised. Who has felt like they were too much of something or not enough of something else? So I'm here today to share my experience of not being gay enough. I live in Blue Springs with my husband of 15 years, our sons who are 9 and almost 13. Say a prayer for me. Preteens are horrifying. And our black cat Luna, who is my 3rd child. I am an author of multiple genres, including dark fantasy, mystery, and romance. As I said before, I'm also a board member for KC BookBeat, and I serve as the author relations director. I've always had a passion for helping others, so being able to be involved in this organization and helping other authors find their voices has been extremely fulfilling for me. On top of all of that, during the week, I run an in-home daycare for infants. So I guess you can say that I like staying busy. I am a bisexual woman in a straight passing marriage. I came out when I was 27, and the first person that I came out to, besides my therapist, was my husband. I was terrified. I'd been going to therapy for a while at that point, and I was coming to terms with a lot all at once. I'd been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, PTSD, and OCD, on top of getting treated for prescription drug addiction after accidentally becoming addicted to antidepressants prescribed by my doctor. And unfortunately for me, my OCD gives me horrific intrusive thoughts. I have a tiny little voice constantly telling me that everyone secretly hates me all the time. I'm pretty much Gollum from Lord of the Rings. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. And I am painfully aware that that is a horrible Gollum impersonation. I am so sorry.
No, it was good.
Like right now, I'm thinking about how many of you are already bored with my speech and ready to run out the door. My worst intrusive thought is anytime I'm in a car, I think I'm going to die. I don't have my driver's license because I'm 100% convinced that I'm going to die in a car wreck while driving. It's a fun time. My intrusive thoughts have always been a huge part of my life. As a child, I remember constantly telling myself, what you're doing is bad, you're not good enough, try harder. I grew up in a very strict Catholic upbringing. My parents never went to church except for Easter and Christmas, but my grandma who helped raise me was hardcore Catholic. And yes, there is a difference between regular Catholic and hardcore Catholic. I went to a private elementary school, so religion was embedded into my everyday life. They even made me switch from being left-handed to right-handed because according to them, left-handed people were more likely to commit suicide and less likely to get jobs. I kid you not. And as you can guess, I was taught that same-sex relationships were a sin. They taught us that homosexuals went to hell right along with the murderers and pedophiles, which is a little ironic coming from the Catholic Church if you know their history. So imagine my surprise when Meg from Hercules gave me the same little girl crush feelings as Shane from Mulan or Robin Hood. And yes, I mean the fox one. Hottest anthropomorphic character, you cannot change my mind. But there was that little voice saying, what you're feeling is bad because gay is bad. If you're gay, you're going to hell. My mental health struggles, particularly with OCD, made me constantly question myself. That inner voice telling me everyone secretly hates you was hard enough to ignore, but it made it even harder to accept my true identity. Not only did I think everyone around me hated me, but I was beginning to hate myself. And it wasn't just about finding negative thoughts about myself, but also fighting the beliefs that I'd been taught, including the idea that being attracted to women meant I was somehow doing something wrong. I heavily suppressed feeling attracted to women, thinking, I just think they're pretty. It's okay for girls to look at celebrities and think that they're pretty. I included a picture of Shania Twain because as a child, I had a poster of her in my room. And at some point during my childhood, I realized I didn't want to be her, I wanted to be with her. When I reached high school, I started developing a crush on one of my friends. It was the first time I had a crush on another female who wasn't famous or a movie character. My core group of friends had 2 gay guys in it. Everyone knew they were gay, and everyone was accepting. However, multiple times, this same group of friends would make remarks about gay girls and women. This group of people who stood up for my gay guy friends used slurs when referring to queer women. Whenever we would see lesbian couples, my friends would joke about which one was the man in the relationship. They would say things like, lesbians are either butch or they're with the butch. This confused me even more because I've never considered myself masculine, nor was I attracted to masculine women. I kept asking myself, are you sure you're attracted to women? Because it doesn't seem like you're doing this right. We had a teacher at our school who never talked about being queer, but everyone knew she was. My friends would joke about her short haircut and being the girls' softball coach. These comments only made me continue to suppress my sexual identity. Callie Torres from Grey's Anatomy became my bisexual icon. The character even grew up Catholic. While I couldn't relate to being Latina or coming from a wealthy family, seeing her father cut her off both emotionally and financially hit close to home, since I was always told that I would be disowned if I ever dated women. No bisexual character was depicted in movies or television quite like she was. Usually they're portrayed as going through a phase that ultimately leads them to deciding a definitive gay or straight path. Watching Callie come out as bisexual absolutely moved me, although it would be another 9 years before I had the courage to come out. I remember 2 specific things about Callie's journey. Erica Hahn, a lesbian character on the show, telling her, you can't kind of be a lesbian, and Callie replying with, yes, I can. This was my first memory of biphobia from the gay lesbian community. Also, this quote from Callie about what the B in LGBTQ stands for. It's a thing, it's real. It doesn't mean badass. Okay, it kind of does, but it also means bi. I got married at a really young age, so I didn't get to really experience a lot. I went from living with my mom and stepdad to living with my now husband. I wasn't supposed to move out until I was married. I even had a curfew until I got married. I went to community college, so I never even got to experience college the same way many young Americans do. When I first began hinting to some of my adult friends that I thought I was bisexual, they dismissed me immediately. They said, there's no way that I could know that because I had never slept with any women. Now, this is a huge part of why I struggled with my sexuality for so long. So many people, both straight and queer, have told me that I can't possibly be bisexual because I've never actually had sex with a woman. But I was getting that reaction more so from my queer friends, which is wild to me because I know a lot of bigots who have this idea that anything other than heterosexuality was equal to sexual deviance. I had no idea how important the intercourse part of sexuality really was to other people. So when I came out to my husband at 27, I was scared. I thought he would be upset. Maybe he would worry about me checking out other women along with men, causing double the amount of threats. However, with every other aspect of my life, he was 100% supportive. He asked if I had any intention of leaving him to date women. I said no, and that was the end of it. I then came out to my 2 best friends at the time. Both of them answered the exact same way. Yeah, I know. As I've gotten older, I've learned that I sometimes give off bi vibes to people. I still don't really know what that means or how to take it, but it feels good to know that I don't really need to explain myself. When I came out to my mom, her response was, "Well, but you're not anymore because you married a man." This is honestly where a lot of the judgment and animosity with my sexuality comes into play. I have learned since coming out as bisexual, a lot of people in the community feel that bisexuals are not gay enough. A lot of the negativity revolves around being too indecisive or towing the line of just barely gay, but still being able to take comfort in straightness. Some community members have even said that being bisexual is just a phase, especially with women. Ultimately, bisexual individuals choose gay or straight with their partners, usually in marriage. And because I married a man, I have chosen the straight path. God forbid something ever happens to my husband and I ever decide to date afterwards, I can honestly say that I would most likely date women. I never got the chance to when I was younger because of my family and my upbringing. So then, would my community be more accepting of me? Could I then proudly wave a rainbow flag? What if I then started dating more men? Would I still not be gay enough? How many men and women combined make me a valid bisexual? I think the most important thing you can take away from my speech is to never dismiss anyone for who they are. Every person's truth is valid. I've been made to feel like an outlier, too Christian for some, not Christian enough for others, too liberal for some, not liberal enough for others, too gay for the straight community, not gay enough for the queer community. And in a community that claims to value inclusivity, that isolation is sometimes very painful. When I see questions like, "Are you a queer author?" I don't know how to answer that. I do know that I make a point to include at least one LGBTQ+ character in all of my books because I believe that representation is important. I believe that individuality is important. Are bisexuals only considered queer when in a relationship with the same sex? Am I queer enough to be speaking to you right now about my truth? I believe I am. I know I am. I am the right amount of everything that makes me me. As I close today, I want to leave you with a quote that has always reminded me to embrace exactly who I am without fear of judgment. As Lady Gaga once said, "Don't ever let a soul in the world tell you that you cannot be exactly who you are." And yes, I decided to close my speech out with a quote from Lady Gaga. Am I gay enough now?